I wouldn't say he's careless. I've been accused of being careless by Taz, and maybe we'll get to that. But back in the day,
why does everyone we talk to have a problem with Taz, or had a problem somewhere in that?
He at that time, he wasn't someone that he definitely wasn't someone that like blends into the dressing room. He stands out, and he makes himself stand out. Let me paint a picture for you. But this is when I'm not sure this is still 99 though. But when I first got to ECW and I'm meeting everybody, big open room, you know, like a warehouse kind of room where that's where we're dressing. Everyone's all, you know, there's tables and chairs, people standing, whatever. Over here is Taz, but you can't really see him because he's got a circle of men around him, Team Taz, wearing orange jackets, and they're standing shoulder to shoulder, making a circle around him, and he's in the middle hours before the show, getting hyped up. You know, and so like if Sabu wanted to talk to him about something, you gotta, you know, like get permission from the outer circle or say I need a moment of Taz's time. You know, it was just he put himself in a position where how could you not have a problem with him? You know what I mean? He was like that back then. He cared very, very much about ECW. He cared very much about his position, and he had his own visions, and he was very protective of that.
That in and of itself is a bit of an odd fit for ECW, where it was like a gang mentality where you all kind of participated equally.
Yes, but there were certain guys that were really tight with Paul, like they lived in New York. Bubba, Taz, and Dreamer were much closer to Paul than the rest of us who would be like flying in from Georgia or Florida or whatever, because they would be there. If they had any office meetings, that would be what the office consisted of, you know, because Dreamer would do the T-shirts. Right. Taz taught the wrestling school, you know. Bubba would they'd get the posters together and be hanging posters up or send them to the town to advertise our shows. They were all instrumental on a different level than just the talent. So there is that.
What did you think of the FTW World Title?
I hated it. I felt like it was. I felt like it was a compensation for Taz's ego. That's what I felt like. I felt like when I got there, he was the guy that had been spending all of his efforts to be the match and to be with Sabu and to be the guy that beat Sabu. Sabu was like a god, and he was feuding with Taz, and no one had beaten Sabu, and they had this thing going that had been building and was to continue building for a while. That was supposed to be like I later saw me and Mike Awesome as possibly being like the biggest thing ever. Back then, Taz and Sabu was being built up as the biggest match ever. And when I came in, I really felt like Taz thought that I just, you know, like bumped him over and took his spot. I came in and worked Sabu. I beat Sabu. Taz wasn't happy about that. And I felt like he thought he was getting pushed out of the picture, and there was a lot of animosity between all of us back then. And I thought like the FTW belt was his way of saying, well, I'll just make my own belt then.
Why'd they keep it around so long, though? Just to placate him?
Quite possibly so. Paul did placate Taz, you know, all the time. And in fact, you know, this belt that I got from Bam Bam Bigelow, I would bring it to and Taz had a new looking belt from Jamar that he wanted me to wear instead. And he's, you know, and he would say, hey, brother, we got this new belt. Isn't that nice? It's all shiny. It was silver. The FTW belt was gold, but the TV belt was silver. I wasn't going to wear it. You know, so, all right, thanks. Next week I'd show up, brother, why aren't you? Oh, I left it at home. I'm sorry, and then I did that for the longest time until everyone, I think Paul was, the tag belts, the heavyweight belt, they matched, but the TV belt didn't match them because I kept bringing this for the longest time. Eventually, I guess I must have decided, okay, and no, maybe I even got it. Maybe I don't know if they might have redone it and made it in gold because I made that comment. I'm not going to wear it. It's silver. I'm trying to build this up. I think, I think that they reordered it in gold, and then I felt obligated, like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to, after they did all this, represent the new look, and that's how I ended up with this thing, is I just kept forgetting it at home when they asked me to return it.
Do you know why Paulie finally decides to get rid of it? Is it?
No, I would assume that, like I said, there was that Taz, Dreamer, Bubba coalition that was in Paul's ear, always talking. So I would assume they came up with, ECW's growing, we need a new look.